Tonight is Meresha Owiti. Now, Speaker of the Senate, Ekwe Ethuro, has directed the Standing Committee on Legal Affairs and Human Rights to scrutinize the contentious amendments to the election laws that were passed by the National Assembly last week. Ethuro wants the committee to submit its report next week on the 4th of January. The Speaker asked the committee to engage all stakeholders in the electoral process and take into consideration all issues that have been raised regarding the contents of the bill. Our senior parliamentary reporter, Patrick Amimo, has more.
For an act of parliament to provide for a framework to...
The contentious amendments to the election laws were tabled in the Senate for first reading. The changes had been passed by the National Assembly last week in a chaotic session that saw opposition lawmakers walking out of the plenary in protest.
United shall never be defeated.
And the Senate Speaker immediately referred the bill to the relevant Senate committee for scrutiny and public participation.
This bill has been the subject of some contention. It is also not lost on us that we are counting down to the general elections, now due in just 8 months. For these reasons, it is imperative that any legislation concerning the manner in which the elections shall be conducted be disposed of and concluded well ahead of time, so that the public and all players are clear about the rules that shall apply.
The amendments to the elections laws have raised political temperature in the country. The Senate now shoulders the onerous duty of navigating through the laws and coming up with proposals that will reduce tension ahead of the August 8th general election.
The people of Kenya are looking up to the Senate. They expect from the Senate nothing less than a sober reflection and circumspection on the issues before us.
Given the issues surrounding this matter of elections, that perhaps you should consider making a reference of this matter not only to the Committee of Justice and Legal, but the ICT committee as well.
We must be able to separate the difference between technical issues and political issues. Because if we handle these things together, if we politicians make technical decisions, then clearly we are likely to have a bad decision.
I thank the majority and the minority sides for the cooperation and the statesmanship that we have displayed in handling a very sensitive national matter.
If we didn't have the Senate in this country, most likely that window of public participation and an opportunity for us to look into this bill was lost, Mr. Speaker. I am excited today that we have an opportunity to stamp the authority and the mandate of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, and we hope that Kenyans will benefit from this.
I feared that the cardinal principle which underlies our Constitution, participation by the people in whom the sovereignty of Kenya lies, may be curtailed or shortened just to meet the deadline that this bill must be passed today.
The National Assembly made changes to the election laws to allow for manual registration of voters and manual transmission of results. The opposition says the parallel system is a recipe for rigging elections.
In 2007 general election, Mr. Speaker, the current opposition leader, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, was almost denied the chance of voting when his name was not found in the Langata constituency electoral commission register. But Mr. Speaker, there was a backup. The then electoral commission had a backup which was called the Black Book backup, which had the name of the former Prime Minister. And in the process, Mr. Speaker, he was allowed to vote.
The Senate's Committee on Legal Affairs immediately convened a sitting where it received views from the Law Society of Kenya and Mkenya Daima. LSK President says the clause urging IEBC to have a complementary system to the electronic one is suspect and needs to be fine-tuned. The Senate's Legal Affairs Committee is now getting public views on the contentious election laws. It will be interesting to see whether the opposition will call off mass action slated for January 4th as it awaits the Senate's report. Patrick Amimo, KTN.